Lydeard Memorial Clock. Designed in 1865 by W.J. Barr as a tribute to Prince Albert, the husband and consort of Queen Victoria. As a result of being built on wooden piles on marshy, reclaimed land around the River Farset, the clock tower leans 1 metre to the right and 1 metre backwards. It would have toppled over altogether, but for renovation work carried out in 2002 at a cost of £2 million. You would think, considering they'd spent that much money on it, they could have at least straightened it. It has 4 clock faces, and all 4 of them at a different time, yet not one of them tells the right time. The clock is now a listed building. Joining or rejoining us here. Just ahead and on the left is a large ceramic fish called the Salmon of Knowledge by Belfast artist John Kindness. It's there to celebrate the return of salmon to the River Lagan. It is also said that if you kiss the Salmon of Knowledge, you will become more intelligent. That's as believable as the story of the Blarney Stone. Also on your left-hand side is the Lagan Weir, completed in 1994 at a cost of £14 million, but it turned out to be money well spent, as it now keeps the River Lagan at an artificial high tide. Because the river is now cleaner, salmon were able to be reintroduced to the river in 1994 after an absence of over 200 years and have been returning to breed ever since. Complex and the Premier Inn Hotel. If you're leaving us here, please remember to take your headphones and all of your belongings with you. This area was previously known as Queen's Island and was the hub of the Belfast shipbuilding industry. It is now home to the Titanic experience. Ahead on the left is the SS Nomadic, the last of the White Star Line vessels in existence. The Nomadic was built as a tender for the Titanic. Now fully restored to its 1912 luxury, the Nomadic is open to the public. if you are joining or rejoining us here. The large red brick building on our left is the original offices of Harland and Wolff. Behind this building, Titanic and Olympic were built side by side. When launched, the Titanic was the largest ship in the world, the heaviest weight man had ever moved. But Olympic was by far the most successful of the 3 Olympic-class ocean liners launched. After 20 years' service, Olympic had attained the nickname Old Reliable. Look to the left to see where Titanic was launched on the 31st of May 1911. 100,000 people turned out to watch the event, but it was all over in just 62 seconds. In keeping with the White Star Line's traditional policy, the ship was not formally named or christened with champagne. Many felt this tradition was tempting fate. And maybe it was, as the Titanic was not their only tragedy, nor was it their first, as both the Neronic and Atlantic were also lost well before the Titanic. Ahead on the left is the HMS Caroline, a C-class light cruiser from the First World War, brought to Belfast in 1924. She is the last surviving ship from the Battle of Jutland in 1916. She has been floating on top of the water for most of the time, and the Titanic has been underneath the water. She received a £12 million lottery grant to enable the ship to be restored. Some of these old buildings here have been found new uses and highlight just how much Belfast has seen its major industries change over the years. One such example is Titanic Studios to the right. It is used by film companies like Universal Studios and was recently used in the HBO series Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has done a great job in showcasing Northern Ireland's beautiful scenery, as much of the outdoor scenes are filmed on the beautiful North Antrim coast on the route up to the Giant's Causeway. The Tom Hanks produced movie City of Ember was also filmed at Titanic Studios. Tom Hanks and Bill Murray came here after scouring Europe for a set big enough to build the entire City of Ember set inside. This is our stop for the Titanic experience, and by far our most popular stop. All our buses stop here automatically and usually arrive here at both 5 minutes past the hour and 35 minutes past the hour. The buses only pick up at these gates on this side of the road. If you're leaving us here, please remember to take your headphones and all of your belongings with you. On the left are Samson and Goliath, Belfast's twin shipbuilding gantry cranes. Brought to Belfast in 1969 and 1974, they span what was the largest construction dock in the world. It is here Harland Wolff built a ship nearly 4 times bigger than Titanic. And yet how many people remember that ship's name? Everyone knows the name Titanic now. But even that wasn't always the case. The interest in Titanic does seem to be directly linked to the films made about her, with the 1958 film A Night to Remember certainly attracting public interest again. Then movies like the James Cameron film Titanic, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, brought the Titanic story to a much younger audience. But no matter how the Titanic phenomena came about, it certainly played a big part in the rejuvenation of Belfast. It's another reason for people wanting to visit Belfast. Belfast gained city status in 1888. And much of the city is named after the British monarchy. Much of the rest is named after people and places linked to the British Empire. because as the empire grew, so too did industrial Belfast. But as the empire declined, so too did industrial Belfast. We're about to cross the Queen's Bridge, which was opened in 1849, the year that Queen Victoria chose to visit Belfast. It was hoped that she would grant Belfast the honour of city status in recognition of Belfast's remarkable industrial development in the first half of the 19th century. But she only stayed in Belfast for 4.5 hours, and in her haste to leave, she forgot, or probably never intended, to grant Belfast the city status it so craved. Belfast would have to wait nearly 40 years before becoming a city in 1888. To the left of the bridge you will see the Waterfront Hall, one of Europe's leading auditoriums and conference centres. At the end of the bridge, the metal sculpture of a woman holding a large ring in the air is called the Beacon of Hope, symbolising the harmonisation of all the world's cultures. When it was brought to Belfast, it acquired a few nicknames, such as Nula with the hula, or the thing with the ring. Side courts, mostly built from glass, which is a relatively new concept in building here in Belfast. If you see a building built from glass here, you can be pretty sure it was built after 1998. Prior to that, you wouldn't dare. On the right are the Royal Courts of Justice. Because they contain the High Court, they were a major target during the Troubles. They are protected by a blast wall 10 foot thick in parts to protect the building from car bombs, the bomb of choice back then. We are approaching our stop for the Irish Tour Tickets Tourist Information Centre, the Crown Bar, the Europa Hotel, the Grand Opera House, and the bus and train station. If you're leaving us here, please remember to take your headphones and all of your belongings with you. Welcome on board if you are joining or rejoining us here. This area was once the main nightlife area in the city, and it still retains some great venues at the city end of the street. Popular bars include Robinson's and the world-famous Crown Bar. The Crown is owned and managed by the National Trust and is preserved and protected as an important historical site. It has retained the wood panelling and small drinking booths called snugs that give it the authentic Belfast appearance. The ornate tilework on the exterior and the floor mosaics make it a very special Belfast institution. as the Golden Mile. It is so named because this area offers the best selection of pubs, clubs and restaurants in Belfast. Some of the pubs have very strange names, but this is all part of the area's charm. There is also a wide selection of cultural cuisine: Indian, Italian, Chinese, Japanese, Nepalese, French, Spanish, Turkish, and of course, Irish. Don't leave Belfast without having treated yourself to an Ulster fry-up, sometimes called a heart attack on a plate. Eating out in Belfast is particularly good value if you take advantage of the many early bird menus on offer. This part of Belfast has benefited greatly from the increase in tourism. Approaching our Shaftesbury Square stop, which is located outside Lavery's, Belfast's oldest family-owned bar. Established in 1854, Lavery's offers 4 different floors of entertainment for different music tastes and age groups. It's claimed they pour 1,000 pints of Guinness a day. They also give you the opportunity to pour your own pint and then reward you with a t-shirt that states that you did so. Welcome on board if you're joining us or rejoining us here. Further ahead on the left is Queen's University Belfast, opened in 1849 as Queen's College Belfast. The university offers academic degrees at various levels and has a large number of now famous alumni, including the former President of Ireland, Mary McAleese, Nobel Prize-winning poet Seamus Heaney, and politician Lord Trimble. Actor Liam Neeson also attended Queen's for a short time. Queen's is the largest landowner in Northern Ireland. In 2015, the student population was just under 25,000, with 8,000 of them coming from outside Northern Ireland. It's testament indeed to the success of Northern Ireland's peace process.